Okay, my name is Douglas Thompson. My tongue is still swollen from biting it. Did that yesterday. So anyway, I thought I'd show you these. These are Snappy Snap caps, 12 gauge. They are awesome, and I left them in the package so I could show you the quality of the packaging. It's going to be a product review. I bought 2 packs of these, so a total of 8, because my particular shotgun holds 5 in the tube, 1 in the chamber, and 2 in the stock. So, that's a total of 8. So I figured it would be senseless not to get 8. Anyway, so if you're like me, you like to train yourself on particular situations and be prepared somewhat for bad things to happen. And one of the bad things that can happen is your gun can stop working, or you have to use your gun. Those are bad things. Onto the product. They're high brass, and they're new brass. I don't know what type of brass shell this is. If they use a pre-existing company, you might be able to tell me what it is. I have not seen that design. Maybe but it looks high quality. The hull or the shell, plastic portion seems to be like as dense as any real shotgun shell. It probably is a real shotgun shell, and they just put their name on it. But the primer, or where the primer would be, is actually just like a piece of soft plastic, or not like a piece of plastic that would chip off in your gun, but it absorbs the impact, so that your firing pin isn't just falling at full strength. I believe it's steel shot in there. I don't know what number that would be, bird shot, and obviously you guys could probably tell me. And then the wadding or whatever, and then a little paper thing to hold it in place. So it's basically just like a real shotgun shell. Like, so the weight and feel, like if I were to close my eyes and feel this with my hands, I'd be like, oh, that's a real shotgun shell. I wouldn't feel the primer and be like, oh, that's not a real primer. You're trying to trick me. But it's great, and I have some loaded up. They seem to do just as good as any real shotgun shell. And because they are basically a real shotgun shell, they are durable. And there's the whole little collection there. If you don't know about snap caps, they're a great thing. I got a piece of metal stuck in my foot, so excuse me. But if you don't know about snap caps, what they're for is to practice, one for dry fires. But one thing I like to do, and it's kind of dangerous because you run the risk of losing your snap cap. But what I like to do is, I'll wait for that asshole speeding in my neighborhood to go by. What I like to do is mix them in with live ammunition when I'm shooting. Like, so I'll grab a couple and put it in my pocket or wherever, mix it in with the ammo, and while I'm loading, usually I'll be able to see like when it's coming up, but it's just good to mix it in with live ammo when you're training, because you have to clear it. And one of the things I like to do with this particular shotgun, besides just loading it up, because that's one of the hardest things to do fast on a shotgun, in my opinion. At least, yeah, I'm gonna keep with that. But one of the things I do, I'm trying to give you an example. I can't really give it to you in this particular video, because I like to film everything all at once. But what I like to do, so let's say there was a shell in there, right? Pop it in there, load it up, So that it'd be ready to go. The shell is in there. Pull the trigger. No bang, right? So I would reach around my left hand, come underneath, pull it back just to where like the hammer. It's hard to do on camera. The hammer resets. Pull the trigger again, and at that point, it wouldn't be worth it for me to try again, knowing that I got a failure to fire twice. So I would just eject it at this point with the same left hand. Bam. But I would do it faster and harder. But that's just an example. I didn't want the brass to go flying like it did last time. So that's one thing I practice for a semi-auto shotgun. You may have a pump-action shotgun and have a different method for training for that kind of stuff. But for this particular shotgun, I like to train that way. I mean, the biggest weakness of any shotgun, I think anyone will agree with me, any tube-fed shotgun is loading the shotgun. And if you can't quickly and efficiently load your shotgun, you're fumbling all over the place, you're ineffective with it. For any practical application, for home defense, for hunting, for sport shooting, like I don't know, skeet shooting. I don't know if they load. I think they do. I don't know. Like a lot of different sport shooting, you have to load your shotgun mid shooting or in between shooting. But yeah, even for the range, you don't want to look like a douchebag and be fumbling around like trying to put it in there. And, so these are a great tool. They're not cheap. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for them, but I know that they're not cheap. I think they were like $12-13, something like that for 4. And if you want to have a good pocket full of them, then as you can see, they load in just as good as any real shotgun shell. Now I'm going to test to see if these are the same length. They're supposed to be 2 3/4 as. Oh wow. Let's see. So 5. Okay, yeah, that was 5. Okay. So I don't know how long these will last because I'm thinking a pump action shotgun would definitely be a little bit less rough on them, and definitely like a single shot or over under or double barrel would definitely be a lot less intense on these because when you let that bolt fall forward, like it should, like at full power, that thing might be catching a little bit on the barrel, not the barrel, but the fucking where where it goes into the chamber. So like that. And I mean, this is there you go. So overall, I'm very pleased with these. I just got these, so I wanted to show you guys. These are called Snappy Snap caps, and they also offer all different calibers. I was going to get some Smorty Smorty 5th and Fessin, some Smorty. Oh my god, some 40 Smith and Wesson. That was embarrassing as hell. 40 Smith and Wesson for my Glock 23 to practice and stuff. But I found that I don't really need to practice as much with that as I do with the 12 gauge because typically if you have to reload your magazines while you're in an engagement, you're in a pretty bad situation. With a shotgun, because it's so low capacity, comparatively speaking, you most likely will have to reload, in a lot of situations, while you're on the go too, like walking around, getting to cover, you know, sneaking around. So I found it more important to practice with 12 gauge than I did with like the pistol ammunition. I do have like some 380 snap caps, and pretty much if you train with them in any practical application besides just loading your magazines and you know, if you're incorporating like what I was suggesting, putting a couple shells or, you know, in your pocket and you grab a handful and you start loading it. If you do a similar thing with your magazines and, you know, put like one snap cap in with your ammunition and in a random order, and you know, when you eject that that round, you know, sometimes it gets flung so far that you can't find it. I already lost one of mine. I had lost like 3 or 4 and in one sitting, and it took me like 2 hours to find it, because like where I practice is in the forest, and I knew it was a bad idea, but I was like, you know, I'm gonna try it out, you know, see how it goes. And you know, if you get like brand snap caps, I think the rounds are like purple aluminum. It's really hard aluminum. I mean, just from cycling it those few times, the brass, the brass doesn't really feel damage. Let's see if I can find one that. Oh, I guess the extractor doesn't tear these up too much. Maybe it's a harder brass. But yeah, so I do recommend these. They're great for if you have any worries about your firing pin. You know, I think it's been proven that it doesn't really hurt center fire or modern day center fire rifles and pistols and stuff. To dry fire them, you know, but I mean, like I guess anyone else's recommendation, I wouldn't recommend doing it like, you know, hundreds of times in a row. And I'm guilty of it. I do it. I'm sure there are people out there that do it, and I haven't had any issues with any of my pistols or shotgun here. So, but yeah, just wanted to show you this, and hopefully you enjoyed it and learned something. I do recommend to get snap caps for your choice of firearm for training and, you know, to practice malfunctions. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to me. You know, why not? Why not subscribe to me? So this has been Douglas Thompson, over and out. Have a good day.